When we sat down to think about building TowneBank, it was real clear that we felt we were building TowneBank for the generations to come. Ward Robinette, Morgan Davis, Buddy Copeland, I mean, they're all great hometown bankers. We made a real commitment to one another to build it for the long term and to be able to bring back those values that we all cherished as part of the heritage of hometown banking here in Hampton Roads.
This is where it all started, 15 years ago. Who would have ever imagined that TowneBank would have grown to be the tremendous community asset that we are for this community? From the success that we've had over the last 15 years at Town, we've been able to provide more than $27 million in financial support back to the Hampton Roads community, to so many worthy organizations. And our employees have stood behind the community with countless hours of volunteering, giving back, serving on boards, being there to rally and support any organization that has a need in our community. TowneBank started as a bank built on friendships and relationships. Over the years, we've made so many friends at TowneBank. This is our dear friend, Buddy Riggs. He appeared in countless videos and commercials for TowneBank over the years because he is so representative of what it's like to be a member of the TowneBank family.
This is a hometown bank, is the way I look at it. Hometown, the hometown people in here, people seem to know each other. You're not a Mr. this or a Mrs. that. You're not a number. No, you're personalized.
Our members truly become part of our family at Town.
It was my birthday. I go on down to my Happy Time Bank. Walk in there, and my God, they're ready for a party. Nancy comes over with a big chocolate cake, ice cream, and everybody just coming out wishing me a happy birthday. I don't know whether Will Sessom smelled the cake or what. He's on the second floor, you understand now. But he came down. That was so nice of him.
When we say Town's a great community asset, we impact people's lives every day. We change people's lives. TowneBank Director and dear friend Richard Bray, in our earliest years working together, had this to say.
You know, I think that the philosophy of TowneBank is that we are a regional partner. We belong in this community. We are part of this community. We serve this community, and this community serves us. And in return, we give back. And it's important that we give back. The giving to the community, the caring for the community is not a corporate policy. It is a corporate culture, and to me there's a distinct difference.
Edmark is the pediatric hospice program here in Hampton Roads, and it was designed to address the specific needs that children with life-threatening illnesses have and everything that those little ones go through. Edmark is an organization that relies heavily on contributions in order to provide the operations on a day-to-day basis, and approximately 90% of our budget comes from contributions. Walking this journey and going this journey, nobody wants to do this. The parents will often say to us, we didn't have a choice, but you all do, and you still make that choice to be with us. We're not really sure how in the world would we have gotten through this without you.
As TowneBank has grown, our contributions to the community grows. And not just financial contributions. The heart of TowneBank, our family members, are making a difference in every community we serve.
TowneBank has grown into a very substantial and sophisticated financial institution, but it still has a heart, and it has a great conscience for the community.
My son is sick with a terminal disease, ALS Lou Gehrig's, and I noticed there was a need for a person such as himself to be able to take their children to the beach.
In 2010, TowneBank family member Bruce Thompson petitioned the City of Virginia Beach to build a totally handicap-accessible park at the beach. Over 600 TowneBank family members participated in a fundraising walk, helping to raise almost $2 million.
By far the largest group and the most excited group that we had in the walk that day was the TowneBank family.
Every time you look up and you see Nightingale fly over and you hear the sound of those blades, you know that there's a mission of mercy going on.
It's surprising sometimes to think of all the ways TowneBank has affected our community. In 2009, our community needed an upgraded emergency helicopter.
You never know when you're going to need Nightingale, and it's always there. And TowneBank's been part of making sure it will always be there.
From Nightingale flying overhead to helping in some of our most needed neighborhoods in the most fundamental way possible, helping kids.
4 Kids assist about 150 families every day, so that's about 300 to 400 children all over Hampton Roads. I think nobody understands how hopeless poverty is. At 4 Kids, we feel so strongly that homelessness and poverty should not be a life sentence for children. These children, they can be our next scientists, they can be our next judges, they can be our next teachers, and they can be the future of our community. What I really want to say to all of the town shareholders is that without you, this work really doesn't happen.
It's important that we recognize that our fellow citizens have needs. And every time we give back and every time we lift somebody up, we make TowneBank stronger, we make our community stronger, we make our organization stronger, we make each of us stronger.
When you put an individual with a disability on the back of a horse, it's a whole different level of a therapeutic experience. It started as a backyard endeavor to be able to help individuals with disabilities, and then when we realized there was such a need, we reached out to TowneBank to inquire about funding to support us, and Town came back as one of our largest donors. So truly, every piece of our building has a piece of TowneBank in it. This lady walked in with her daughter, and her daughter has developmental delay, and she really wanted something for her daughter. I worked with her throughout the 8-week lesson, and when her lesson was over, she looked at me and she just burst into tears, and she said, my daughter now has something of her own. And that's what we do here. We give them something of their own.
In 2011, CHKD presented plans for, and their need for, a mobile intensive care transport unit.
It started with a phone call I got from my wife saying something's wrong with Caroline.
She was having trouble waking up. Her eyes were kind of starting to roll back. Her color looked really off.
Well, it was surreal, honestly. I mean, it's hard to believe that it was happening to us. It became clear that she was in a very, very critical state.
The second we saw the CHKD transport team walk through those doors, I felt like everything was going to be okay.
And they were able to save her life. I mean, they literally did that.
How do you measure that? How do you articulate the value of that?
The simple dreams of these people are just to be like you and me. Just to have the chance to earn a paycheck. And the dignity of that is just immeasurable. One person said, "Nobody sees me, but when I work, I exist." But see, what we've done here is we said, okay, nobody's getting left behind. I had a woman come to me and she was in tears and just streaming down her face. And she said, "I just want to thank you. I just want to thank you." And she said, "My daughter is 38 years old. And for the first time in her life, she spoke. And it's because she's working in your laundry." Town has had the wisdom to invest in the most vulnerable people and make them valuable. To the philanthropists, I say, dig as deep as you can and invest in TowneBank, because they're giving back, and that's what we need, that's what I think defines Hampton Roads, and I think the town is at the forefront of defining that.
With the help of all of you in this room, there is no stopping TowneBank. There are no boundaries for what we can all accomplish together. TowneBank's been here 15 years, and we plan to be here for generations to come. There's still so much work to do in our community.
Well, you know, I often tell my friends when you drive down the street, don't just look straight ahead, look left and right. Look at the street corner, look at the car next to you, look at the road ahead, look in the rearview mirror, and you'll see need. You'll see the face of need all around you. It's not hard to find. And when you realize that every day of your life, through your institution, through your bank, you're making a difference in people's lives. To those people whose lives are being changed, it's very, very dramatic. In many cases, it's life-saving.
That's my bank. That's my bank.